Thanks so much for joining. It's Dating with Katy, and I hope you all had a great holiday. It was Thanksgiving last week. My podcast was on 5 reasons why you should be thankful that you're single. And you guys gave such positive feedback from that. You're like, I love it. I'm getting healthy. I'm getting whole. I'm spending more time saving my money. I'm working out. I'm so proud of you. I'm telling you, this is why you're a 20%er. And let me help you because 2024 is so close. So let me help you in a couple ways. I've got some courses on sale today. Make sure you check those out. 7 Steps to Sexy for you ladies, getting from frumpy to fabulous, a little bit of my backstory. For guys, I've got Style Yourself Confident, Confidence 101, very different, but both very needed in your dating life. So go check those out. And if you're new to dating, I have 14 days to dating success. Every day, it's a little video. It's like 3 minutes long. All of my best tips and tricks in dating. Guys, dating is a skill set. It's like a job interview. You've got to get better and better at it each time. All right, well, don't forget to subscribe. Also, don't forget to get in my database. I've got 5 new clients. These are all great men. Guys, if you want to become a client, let me know. It is a phenomenal way to date. A lot less of the drama, if you know what I'm saying, a lot less finger swiping as well. So you get curated matches. And ladies, if you are a phenomenal woman, I need you in my database. So make sure you get in the database. All right, today, this is a really important one. We do have 2024 coming. You know, everyone's got these New Year's goals and like, this is what I'm going to be working on, Katy. Well, I know a lot of it is relational too. A lot of people want to work on finding a person, finding their one. And if 2024 is it, then I'm going to do whatever I can. But I'm going to tell you the number one thing, the only thing that you need to do to find the right person. And this is going to be creating your dating list, guys. This is the only dating list that you will ever need to create. And I'm going to talk about the 5 reasons why you need to be doing this today. So for you guys, I'm going to be doing a live workshop this Friday, December 1st. Now, if the podcast has already passed, you can go back to YouTube and watch this podcast or watch this YouTube live. It's really going to be helpful. Bring your questions. I want you to sit down with me and create your list. It's going to be that structured time, pen to paper. Create that list, you guys. So get your paper and pen out and create the only list that you're ever going to need for dating. And that will be this Friday, December 1st, noon Central Time, noon CST. So make sure you put it on your calendar, do a little lunch date with me, bring a notebook, bring a pad of paper, bring your cell phone and write this in there so you always have it with you. The only dating list you will ever need. Well, let's talk about that real fast. Let's talk about number 1. Let's talk about why you need to get crystal clear on what matters to you. I see way too often people are open, right? There's that option of being open. I'm open to having kids. I'm open to dating anyone of any race. I'm open to dating, any religion. I'm open. Well, if you're open to anything, you're going to just keep getting anything. And that's one thing I had to learn as dating with Katy. Everyone kept saying, well, who is your niche market, right? Who are you really speaking to? Now, I'm not speaking to everybody. The Dating with Katy listener is not everybody. It's a 20%er. They're cool, quality, and they're ready for a real relationship. Now, there's 80% of out there people dating that are not any of those things, right? Or they're not the combination of all 3. They're not ready for something great. They just want to play and have fun, or they don't have the time, which was just another podcast I did on dating with limitations. They're not cool. They're actually boring people. They're uninteresting. They're not quality. They don't have a depth of character. They don't actually value people's hearts when they're dating. So they're kind of users or, they're takers. So it's no surprise that there's a lot of people that aren't even crystal clear on what matters, but are you? And that's why we're going to be doing this workshop. And here's a couple lies that kind of go along with that. Not really crystal clear on what matters in your life. If you say things like, oh, well, I'm just going to fall in love. Okay, that's ridiculous. First off, you're going to fall in love with what? With anything? With anyone? You're open to options? Like, no, you need to get crystal clear on what you're going to fall in love with. And by the way, that term, I just had a client recently. He said, well, Katy, she was the love of my life. That term is a lie because that love of your life could cheat on you. And they're not the love of your life anymore. So be very mindful of these terms that kind of put people in a box, put people in a corner, or make you believe things that really aren't true in the reality of this world and dating, right? Because it's all choices. We all have to make better choices. We all have to get crystal clear on what we want. What about things like, well, Katy, I have to have chemistry with them right away. That's ridiculous. Let me remind you about this. Chemistry is like fuel on a fire, right? So you start the fire, and by the way, that's the spark. Spark is what you should be looking for on the first date. The spark starts the fire. The ember keeps the fire going. Chemistry is just the lighter fluid on the flames, which does what? It goes and then it dissipates and it's gone. You have to keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. And that's exhausting. So if you think your life is always going to be chemistry with this one person, you've got something coming to you. What you should be looking for is spark and working on embers with the right person. So keep that in mind. Again, these thought processes, and you see them on Instagram all the time, are not getting you crystal clear. You're just kind of winging it. You're in the dating world, flexible and open to everything. I mean, this one, for example, in dating, when I'm on a Bumble and I see these 30-year-old girls that are open to having kids, girl, either you want kids or you don't. Like, get crystal clear on that, because don't be that girl who says you're open and then you're dating this guy who doesn't want kids and then you pull out the whole I want kids 3 years later. Like, get crystal clear on that. This isn't a puppy. This is a person. So things like this, you've got to get crystal clear on, you guys. So get crystal clear on what matters to you, which gets me to number 2. Do you even have core values? Now, core values, I just did all of my core values for my work life, for my personal life, and for my married life. Like, these are the goals, these are the intentions, this is my heart's desires and how I want to behave and think and pursue in each one of those capacities. So, for example, I'll just give you my work core values. And this is my goal for what I do as Dating with Katy. Number 1, I want to work as unto the Lord, doing my best in his sight. So I love working for my clients, but I really want to work for God first. Number 2 is I work to be an eternal blessing for my clients. That's right. Like, I am dealing with their hearts and relationships. It's a big deal. Like, I want it to be an eternal blessing. I want it to go not just here and have a great marriage relationship, but that it would be eternally a blessing to them. I want to instruct you guys with integrity, seriousness, and soundness of speech, with godly insight, because the ways of this world are not working. Number 4, I'm honest, respectful, and reliable with my clients. I do what I say, and I honor both parties, meaning paying clients and the women they go out with, non-paying clients, and I want the best for both. I can tell you this, not every matchmaker will say that. There's a lot of matchmakers who will just put people on dates to get the numbers done and to get paid for the day. Not what I do. That is not what I do. I have worked on my core values. Have you worked on yours? So I know it's kind of crazy. I went to Canva and made my little core values sheet. I've been working on them. But if you don't really know where you're going, then it's all ambiguous, it's foggy, and you're really never going to get to the destination that you're looking for. So I need you to get your core values. Get them by Friday, right? Like, what do you want in life? What are these value sets that you have? I speak about them all the time. All right, number 3. Do you even understand the difference between preferences versus standards, right? Which are the deal breakers. And I think what's sad is most people have a list of preferences. It's a very long list of the hair, the weight, the money they make, all these different things that are just preferences. And we have to remind clients quite often that that's a preference. Like, it'd be great if he was 6'2", but let me remind you, sweetheart, you're 5'1". You have options. Like, you could go for the shorter guy. And guys who are 6'2" don't always like girls who are 5'1". Honest truth. And guys, let me talk to you for a second. You want a girl who's fit. Okay, well, fit is hard to find when they're 55. Fit looks a little different. It's not going to be, someone who's super thin and, just 6-pack abs. Like, and only if you have 6-pack abs can you expect to have somebody with 6-pack abs. So I'm saying you attract what you are. You should really keep open to maybe a little bit of softness, or ladies, a little bit of belly, because that's life. Are they amazing, and do they treat you amazing? And that's really what I try to get people to do. So that list of preferences is what we're going to work on Friday. We're going to take that, we're going to chuck it, and we're going to get a list of standards. And this is going to be how somebody treats you, because that's really what matters in life, right? And your core values are going to help you really clarify your deal breakers in dating. Look at all this vocabulary. And I think one of the other things I'm going to speak on, and I was just reading this book called Quiet, and I'm actually going to do a podcast called The Case for the Quiet Guy. And sadly, now we're no longer a culture of character. We're a culture of personality. So in dating, it's been really hard for my quieter guys, kind of the engineers, even my husband's that engineer, quieter guy, to get a second date because they're not this charismatic alpha male, yet they are the guy who will be there, who's going to have standards and living a life of quality that every woman really wants, but maybe he's not as gregarious and, doesn't have all these, friends and cool vibes and, isn't as exciting as some of the other guys. And this is why we really need to get that list going, because we should be looking for a person of character and not a person of personality. Well, let's move into the next one. This is number 4. And you should be open to someone who's good enough. So I'm reading this book and I think it's great. It's called Marry Him, The Case for Settling for Mr. Good Enough. Now, I know you're like, oh, Katy, I'm never going to settle. Look, I did a whole podcast on settling. Am I settling? It's like podcast 43. Because even before I got married, I wanted to make sure I wasn't settling. I know the market out there. It's not great. I didn't really want to go back out in the market. I'd been dating my guy for many years, but it's like, oh no, it's starting to come to fruition. This going forward to marriage. Is this the right guy? And it's a choice. It's a choice. No guy is going to be the perfect guy. No woman is going to be the perfect woman. So even I, wanted to make sure that I was not settling. Could I get better, right? And that's kind of the thing with online dating now is, can I get better? I can go back and swipe and get better. And I've dated guys with more money and I've dated guys with fancier houses. But I can tell you what, the character quality of my man is why I'm here. Because he has standards himself and he met my standards. So we had a few speed bumps, which you guys have heard about, and you should know that that's going to happen. And we've had a few, I call them speed bumps. I mean, there does come a point where you just have to be practical in dating and not always romantic. So one of the things I used, and I taught this in the podcast, is that it's an 80-20 rule. Does this person bring 80% to the table of what I'm looking for? Because that's a pretty good gig right there. And that's what she talks about in here, that most men totally are good with that. Now, women, on the other hand, will say, well, I'm settling. No, you're not settling. You're flexing and you're compromising because you're never going to find something that's in everybody, right? And even Dr. Phil has said it. He calls it the 70-30. I believe more the 80-20, as a matter of fact. And I think it's important when I am asking my clients, like, okay, so this person you're dating, is she an 80-20? Does she meet 80% of your needs? Does he meet 80% of your needs? And 20% you're working on, or maybe that's just not going to be the person who fulfills that need. Like, every man is going to be your best friend, ladies, like in the way that he's going to want to shop with you, like your best girlfriend, right? And guys, she might not want to watch as much football as your best buddy friend. So you have other people who can meet those needs. And that's what's really important. Now, a great little story that she talks about in the very, very beginning, I think it's even in the intro. It's not even in one of the chapters. She calls it the man store. But she uses this analogy that a woman is going to go shopping for a man. And the store is 6 stories high. And she walks in, and on the first flight he is good looking, right? No, here it is. The first floor 1, is men who have good jobs. Well, these women are like, well, that's great, but I want more. So she goes to floor 2. Now, here's the rule. If you don't stop at a floor, you can't go back in. So you have to pick a floor, and you have to purchase from there. So on floor 2, it's men who have good jobs and love kids. Well, she's thinking, well, this is great, but what's on floor 3? Floor 3 is men who have good jobs, love kids, and are extremely handsome. Okay, extremely handsome. Yet she still wants to know, is there more, right? So she's compelled to keep going. Floor 4, men who have good jobs, love kids, are extremely handsome, and help equally with the housework. You would think she'd stop there, but no. She is so curious, what is on floor 5? I just have to know. Floor 5 has men who have good jobs, love their kids, are extremely handsome, help equally with the housework, and they have a great sense of humor. Well, she's thinking, this is the best I've ever seen, but wait, there's floor 6. I'm going to keep going. When she gets to floor 6, there's a sign that says, welcome to floor 6, your visitor 42,215,602 to this floor. There are no men on this floor. This floor only exists to prove the point that women are impossible to please. Thank you for shopping at the husband store. Now, on a side note, the store across the way is the wife's store or the woman's store. And it's pretty simple. On the first floor, it's wives who love sex or women who love sex. On the second floor for men, it's women who love sex and are kind. On the third floor, it's women who love sex, are kind, and like sports. And guess what? All the men stop right there, and they never make it to floor 4, 5, and 6. And I think this really exhibits the fact that we've got to stop thinking there's something better, that, he's not good enough, but maybe he is. And it's just not what you think the world is telling you, or what Instagram is telling you, or what the next Bumble photo is telling you. So let's talk about that on Friday when we make our list. You've got to be practical, because relationships are practical. 80% practical, 20% romantic. Now, the last one is going to be this standards list that we're going to create. And guys, this is what I'm going to do on the workshop on Friday. I'm going to give you words, vocabulary words, so you can really kind of brainstorm into what would my list have. And throughout Instagram this week, I'm going to be talking about it. Like, what are these standards? What are these expectations that we have on how someone is going to treat us? That is what matters, because at the end of the day, I always do say this, you want to find someone who's going to wipe your butt, right? If you get sick, if you get cancer, if I've had clients whose water mains break in their house and their boyfriends are too busy to come over because they have to take a spin class, and, he doesn't show up for days, or they get in a fight and he's gone for a week and he doesn't hear from her, or women who are crazy. Look, we're not looking for that. We're looking for quality character. We're looking for people of character. And it's hard to find in this day and age. But if you have your list, you can refer back, you can be reminded. And then when you find that person, you can be thankful that you listened and you focused. And we're going to be doing this on Friday at 12 o'clock Central. And I want you there. If not, do me a favor, go watch that YouTube live and make your list and send it to me, guys. Email it to me, DM it to me. I want to know what is on your standards list, because that is the only list you're going to need for dating. All right, until Friday, I will see you then. Cheers to great dating.